So I started recording this video at like an hour or two ago, but it came out to like damn near an hour. And I figured that, you know what? Let me see if I can do another run of the video, but consolidate it more, like make it way less lengthy. So that's what I'm going to be doing with this one. So this video is essentially going to be my rankings for Sonic games. Now, I should be very specific with these rankings. This ranking is essentially just being like Sonic games that I have played, as well as my favorites. Like, what do I enjoy more? Like, if I enjoyed it as much, and if so, where would I put it? This is not a ranking video to where it's like, where does this game rank all time? Like, do I put Sonic at this tier, or Sonic Unleashed at this tier instead of this tier, if I'm trying to be as unbiased as I possibly can? That's not this video. The majority of this video is essentially biased. I may say some things that are obviously unbiased, but for the most part, this is biased as all hell, really. If I was to ever do one that was unbiased, actually, I could try doing that later on in this video if I feel like it, or a different video. But anyway, this is going to be the tier list of my favorite Sonic games, if I was to put my favorite Sonic games that I enjoy on a tier list. Again, I'm just trying to make that point very fucking clear. So, without further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom. So I would have, yeah, so I think it's a lot faster, obviously, having it already in its tiers than doing the video, because when I was making the video, it took like about 50 minutes, although, whatever. But anyway, this is the tier, so I'm doing the ranking system like it is in Unleashed, actually, ironically, so S, A, B, C, D, E. So S tier, well, actually, let's start from the bottom. E tier, we're just gonna work our way up to the top. Sonic 06. Honestly, and there's maybe a possibility where I might switch some things around. And honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I may have to switch forces in 06. I think about it. I really might. Fucking hell. I think I might, yeah. I'm switching it around. I'm doing this actually. I might put forces at E, yeah. So, I should probably elaborate on this though. I'm a Sonic fan that came to be after like Unleashed going forward. Really, when Cobanomite was doing his playthrough of Sonic Lost World, that's really when. But essentially, I've been essentially a fan of Sonic during the Boost era. So I was not there during Dreamcast time, and I was especially not there during the Dark Ages of Sonic. I really was the only really Sonic game you consider that to be in the Dark Ages, Unleashed, but that essentially brought them out of the Dark Ages of Sonic. So I never really played 06 with that mindset of like, this game has so much potential, and it just flopped like shit. Now, it definitely did flop like shit. 06 flopped the fuck off, and I'm not gonna go too deep into it because there's already like so many YouTube videos out there that already talks about that in great length that there's just no reason for me to even discuss about that, of like the downfall of that game known as 06. I know that nowadays people are starting to say that it's actually not as bad as we thought. I am not one of those people. I still think 06 is a really shit game. I play it a lot. Let me say that right now. I played the game a lot, and I probably still would, honestly. Well, most likely the PS6 version instead, though. But I played the original version many times on my 360, even when I had Generations and Unleashed. Sometimes I feel like just booting up some 06. I'm not gonna care. I even brought some DLCs. I had a bit of enjoyment playing it though. And even after realizing that, wow, this game was actually one of the worst games, I still played it. Yeah. So Me, as much as like I was like, alright, I'm still playing or whatever. I'm not gonna be one of those people that is saying that this game is alright, especially after the years going forward. No, because this game has just way too many problems for me to saying that it's not as bad as we thought. The story you can't defend. There is too many things going wrong with that story that is again, I'm not gonna go in full detail about it. There's like plethoras of YouTube videos that talks about it in great length. And then with the gameplay, I mean, I also don't even need to talk about that. I really don't. But why am I talking about this? Well, you could say the same thing with Sonic Forces. This was basically the darkest time for Sonic when we had Forces for a couple of reasons. One, alongside its release, we had Sonic Mania that was released from fans, not from Sega. So, well, actually, how did that go? It was made from like Christian Whitehead and the bunch. Yeah, it wasn't like Sonic Team and Sega. Yeah, essentially, yeah. So when Sonic Mania came out and that game did so great, and honestly I started seeing a bit of a rise in like fan games after that point, and then the promotion that Sega was doing was just all classic Sonic. Sonic Forces was just like, we're done with this. This is gonna be left in the desert all alone and shit. And I did not enjoy this game at all. This was a game I full on did not like from start to finish. I thought the story was really bad, as well as with that stupid retcon, as well as a couple other things in the story. The gameplay also doesn't help, even though the custom avatar carries this entire game. It's not enough. Modern Sonic somehow controls worse than games with the original Hedgehog engine, like in Unleashed or especially Generations. Even Colors, even though it doesn't have the Hedgehog engine, it somehow controls worse than that. And don't even get me started on classic Sonic. He is literally the worst controlling Sonic I've played in modern Sonic era. Truthfully, I haven't played Colors, the original Colors yet, by the way. But there were just so many things that I despise about Forces. And I never owned a copy. The only way I was able to play it around the time it released was because my friend brought it. He beat it within a day. He gave it to me. Fun fact, I actually almost snapped my Switch in half because of that game. I was playing like the last stage for Classic Sonic. It was like an automated section with spinning wheels, and I got so angry to the point where I felt my hands feeling light, as well as my feet just ready to explode off the ground, and I was ready to jump in the air and knee strike my Switch for how angry I was. Thank God I didn't, because I was very close to doing that, and that was a Switch that my best friend gave me as like a Christmas gift, I think. So it was like, let me not do that. I was able to beat the game the next day, but my lord, that was something. And the fucked up part is that I'm probably gonna have to do a playthrough of that game on this channel one day, maybe, if I ever desire to. But yeah, this Sonic Forces is basically, to just put it blunt and simple, this is basically my Dark Age 06 game, essentially. It's a game I don't really honestly want to play ever again, and I truly don't see any redeeming factors for Forces. As for 06, I truly don't, honestly. If I'm going to recommend you to pick one, I mean to pick a version of 06 to play, it is really PO6. Even when that game isn't like fully even if that game isn't like fully done yet, I still full on recommend people just play the PO6 version. Honestly, I can't wait for when that version is completely done, and if he actually adds back the story stuff, really, then that'll be like the best fucking thing ever for the game. I don't really see I mean, you can still play the original 06 though, so you can see like how good or bad it was compared depending on who you listen to, because there are certain YouTubers out there that say that 06 is pretty good, a good game. I full on disagree, as well as other people. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but or just drag that on. But yeah, so 4-6 is in E, 06 is in D. How long did that fucking take me? 10 minutes. Oh my gosh. Alright, anyway, now we're going to C tier. So, next is, and I put them in order right away of which one would I put over the other. So, in third place, so we're at C. In third place, I have Sonic Rebels 2. This was actually one of my first games I've ever played on my PSP, actually, when I first got it. I actually got the bundle with Sonic Rebels 2 as well as the Sega Genesis collection, so I could play Sonic 1 as well as Sonic 2. But the reason I didn't add it on this play in here, because I've also played the Sonic Mega collection, was because I just was never good at at those types of games or games in general, actually. So I don't think it's like the best thing to do to just put them in there, combined with the fact that I was just playing them because I was like, fuck it, yeah. So, but Sonic Rebels 2, I mean, it's like a whatever-ish game to me. I will say though, when I remember the times when I first played the game, and it is one of the worst things ever to fight Silver, or if you're Metal Sonic and you fight Silver. Like, it's one thing if Shadow is going to use Chaos Control, and there's also like other like enemies that are so annoying, like Rouge with her stupid bombs. Wait, does she have bombs in that game? No, she didn't. Wait, was she even in that game? Maybe. I can't remember. I just remember that Silver was the most annoying. His ESP, you will press the right button to go right, and his ESP will make you look down. You will press the jumping attack, and you'll be standing there like a fucking fool. But I don't remember much of the stories. I don't think they're like the greatest things to really look at though, from from certain things that I do recall. But it's mainly just there just to like gameplay, just to pass some extra time, really. I mean, it's like a whatever-ish game, even though I played it a lot. It's more like an influence, like, you played it cool. If you did it, it ain't the worst thing in the world, honestly, if you didn't. It's honestly, if I'm being real, a forgettable game. If I'm being real. But that's really me, though. If I was to buy it again, though, hell yeah, I would. I honestly would rebuy it again. But I would not go crazy over the game because it's not like something to like go crazy about for real, yeah. Second place, Sonic Heroes. I don't know if this video, if a lot of people ever do see this video, some people might get triggered by it. I'm not a fan of Sonic Heroes. I don't think it is great when it comes to gameplay, story. I mean, it's as basic as you could get, so there's nothing really wrong with that, honestly. So no problems with the story on that end. I mean, this is literally a Sonic game as far as story-wise, where it's as basic as you can get, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with such a basic, regular story that you, because Team Sonic is basically just chasing Eggman. Team Rose is just finding a fucking frog. The only ones that really do have a story, if I'm being real, is Team Dark and Team Chaotix, where Team Chaotix is fighting Eggman, and Team Dark is unlocking the truth of Shadow's memory, as well as helping Omega defeat Eggman. I don't really see the big deal of it, really, because it's kind of clear when you look at the game and when you're playing it, it doesn't give a flying fuck about the story, in a sense to where it's like so basic you can't really say anything like good or bad about it. So there's that. As far as gameplay, which is the main thing about the game, I don't know really, because the game is so, and I haven't played Shadow the Hedgehog yet, so keep that in mind. Again, these are games that I have at least played a good bit. I have not played Shadow the Hedgehog, so I know that game is slippery. And honestly, after playing 06, I'm very nervous to even touch that game for how slippery this game was. Because, my lord, this game is so slippery and a bit hard to control. It's like, no, not even a... Hold on one second. Alright, I'm back. I had to check something. Okay, it's not like the game just controls bad. I mean, when you're going so fast, and then you're in the air, and then you touch the ground, you just start careening to the nearest edge near you. And like you notice that a lot in later stages. It's just not as apparent in like the first couple stages because there are a lot of barriers that are going to protect you. But as soon as you go into later stages to where the paths are linear and you cannot fall or else you will die, it's super obvious there. It's the main and sole reason why I have to use a flight character almost at all times unless I know I can get away with using a speed character, because I am too scared of just getting carried off a platform. You can't ignore that. The game is literally slippery. If you are someone that says that Shadow the Hedgehog is slippery, then that's essentially the same thing in Sonic Heroes and vice versa. The game is so slippery. I don't like going fast at all in that game. And also with the controls, I mean, it doesn't help. I mean, play like these special stages, and it's like the worst thing to try to get them damn Chaos Emeralds. It's the worst thing ever. Graphics, I mean, the graphics are cool. I mean, Sonic and music. By the way, for all these Sonic games, by the way, music is like always top tier. So I don't even need to spend time on that though. But graphics do look good in this game though. I think this came around the time it was PS2, original Xbox, and some other systems. Yeah, but I'm not really the biggest fan of Sonic Heroes. I mean, I don't mind that it doesn't really focus so heavily on the story, but the gameplay is the sole reason why I just do not care to even touch that game. I'm so glad I beat that game this year, and I am never touching that game again. I already deleted, I think I deleted the files on my PC from it because I just downloaded it. I'm not touching it again. I'm really not going to touch it again unless I have to do a playthrough, and even then I'm not going to buy it. I don't like Heroes, but I'm not going to put it lower than certain games. A game that I don't know if a lot of people will agree with me on this though, but I at least enjoyed Adventures 2 more when I was playing it more than Heroes, but it's like so barely though at the very least, because I enjoyed so much playing with Sonic and Shadow or the speed characters. When you're playing with the mech characters, so like Tails and Eggman, it's like so, but I now start to see why people don't like it for the janky ass controls that they have. But oh my gosh, man, Knuckles and Rouge, those treasure hunting stages or Master Emerald hunting stages, those are the worst. Those are the absolute worst parts of that game. To me, it's not even a debate. There were times where I actually had to just restart the game because I'm like at 30 minutes, I haven't even found the first one. Or maybe I found the first one and it's like impossible to find the second one. And it's like, I'm not doing this no more. I'm just not doing it no more at that point. I don't really see what's the big deal of Sonic Adventures 2 when I played it. My friend actually brought it for me again on my Steam because I originally had it on my 360, so I actually have it on my PC if I ever decided to do a playthrough of it. But I really don't see the big point of Adventures 2. If anything, I honestly want to play Adventures 1 because that's where I hear it's the good adventure game. But I just really not a fan of playing Adventures 2 unless I'm playing specifically Sonic and Shadow stages. I'm not a fan of I'm like so-ish on like the mech stages. The treasure hunting are some of the worst because from what I've looked, the treasure hunting stages are way worse in Adventures 2 compared to Adventures 1 because it only tracks one emerald or piece, and it's gonna track that specific one, so you can like run past that emerald piece and it won't detect it. And that's part of one of the reasons why it takes for fucking ever, because you gotta backtrack it because maybe you already passed it without you knowing, where like in Adventures 1 is like the complete opposite. So there's that. Yeah, as far as story is concerned, from what I've looked into, from what I've seen, the story it's weird. It's a bit of a weird-ish story. I do want to look more into it, but from what I've seen, it's not really the strongest story. It's not really one that also makes the most amount of sense anyway, so Yeah. So now we go to B tier. 3 games I have over there. So the DS game sequel for Sonic Rush Adventures. This is a game that I haven't really. I need to honestly re-get this game somehow. What if it's getting a DS again to somehow get the game, or to emulate it, because I feel like I never enjoyed this game or played it as much. Or no, I didn't play as much as I did for the Colors DS version or Rush. Not like I didn't dislike the game, although I will say I didn't like it as much as Rush, but it was still pretty cool. I mean, it has like the Rush formula. I digged it. There were some aspects that I can't remember for the life of me, and it's the reason why I really want to get the game. Part of it is based off of memory, in a sense, by the way. But I remember there were certain things where I was just like, I don't feel like playing this game, truthfully. Sonic Colors on the DS, I was never able to get. I didn't have a Wii, so I couldn't get that, but I at least had the DS. So I was able to get the DS version. I pretty much enjoyed it because it's basically Sonic Rush. If you are a fan of Sonic Rush, you're more or less going to enjoy the gameplay aspect of Sonic Colors on the DS. I honestly don't even remember much when it came to the story. I just focused more. I was just more on just boosting and shit, really, if I'm being real. Which is weird because I played the game a lot. Almost, I don't know if I played as much as Sonic Rush, but I remember more of the story in Sonic Rush compared to the story in Sonic Colors. I guess it's because some of the stuff I do remember, and now that I think about it, is like so much filler shit. But I don't know. Yeah, it's a pretty good game though. I mean, gameplay wise though, if you wanna play some Sonic Rush, play like a Sonic Rush-esque type of game. And then the most recent game we have up here, Sonic Frontiers. Oh man, this game proved me wrong. I had like little to no expectations for Sonic Frontiers. I didn't think that this game had the potential to be one of my favorite Sonic games I played ever. I didn't think that would happen. I really enjoyed this game a lot. Like, truthfully, I enjoyed this game a lot. It is one of my favorite Sonic games I have ever played, period. And it's so crazy. I didn't think that this, for a game that not even just me, damn near the entire Sonic community had little to no expectations for. And it did a whole 180. It did an absolute whole 180. I don't think it is like S tier or A tier is like the max I will put Sonic Frontiers if I was being if I'm really gonna stretch it. S tier, I'm not doing it. There are problems with the game, for even though I really enjoyed it, and you can also watch my live playthrough. I'll put it in the description. There are so many problems with the game that I can't look past. I need to look more into the story again, but I can't do it now because I'm focusing on my Splatoon 3 review as well as my Modern Warfare 22 campaign only review. So I kind of need to focus on that again before. So I think what I'll just probably have to do in the meantime is just do another playthrough of Sonic Frontiers just to look at stuff. But one thing I absolutely enjoyed was the side characters. Amy, Tails, and Knuckles. My god, was it great to look at the side stories with those guys and girl. It's just amazing to look at their development in this game. They did such a great job with developing their characters in this game to be very likable and just to give more to them than just like what we've seen before and them just being there just for the sake of it. Honestly, out of all 3 of the characters, I enjoyed Amy the most. Next to Amy was Knuckles, but all 3 are amazing. And I think what the game does so great with those characters as well is they gave them some little mini arcs for them to just rethink and reevaluate themselves and to work on over time in the future. With Amy is I think like her whole arc was like she was like so inspired by the loves that the Cocos have that she wants to spread that type of love throughout the world. But at the same time, she's nervous that I'm doing this, I'm not gonna see you for probably a while. But she's ready to just go and just explore the world more and just show the world that she loved the love that she saw from the Cocos. You have Knuckles that is going to try to be a bit more laid back, and try not to think much about him being like the last of his kind too much, because of just more the shit than that. And then Tails, man, I mean, I mean, he literally calls himself a bitch in Sonic Forces, and he's like, I need to work on myself to not rely on you all the time, to be Sonic's shadow. And it's so, I love the arcs. I think that's one of the my favorite aspects when it came to the story of that game, is just looking at the arcs of these characters, as well as like the interactions. The cutscenes could have been a lot better when it came to that part for the side stories, but it is what it is. So gameplay, it's good. It could have been a lot better. When it's in 3D, it's good, but the problem is when you're in the air and you jump, it's like so hard to turn Sonic. Like if I'm trying to turn Sonic the other direction, it's so hard to do that. And then in 2D form, it's somehow he's even worse to control in 2D than classic Sonic and Sonic Forces. I truly think that. And it's on the same engine, so it also makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, you think that would be a lot better, but somehow in this game, it feels like he controls a lot worse than classic Sonic when he's in 2D form. Other than that, I mean, I enjoyed the gameplay, really. Just roaming around, there was a good bit of things to do, could have been a bit more, but hey, I enjoyed it. And then how about them bosses? Jesus Christ, yo, these supersonic fights, and all of them were supersonic bosses, except for the final boss, the true final boss. But I'll get to that soon. The 4 Titans, Giganto, Wyvern, Knight, and Supreme, those have to be some of the best fights we've ever seen, boss fights we've ever had in general for Sonic games in general. And supersonic wise, it's probably the best we've ever gotten. Yeah, I think it's the best supersonic fights we've gotten ever. Or at least in a good while, maybe since Unleashed. And that's a huge maybe on it. That's like a huge stretch for me saying Unleashed. But in general, those are some of the best fights we've had in a good while, possibly ever. Because, my lord, this game really shows Sonic's supersonic strength the best. Like they did not hold back with showing how strong and powerful this golden hedgehog is. Now the true final boss, that's where I'm like it's like so iffy for me. I didn't like the final boss for how amazing the bosses were before the Titans. The true final boss where you fight the end, I thought that was like so weak, honestly. But I'll talk about that in my actual review for the game. And that's really it for the B tier. Alright, and now for A tier. So, we got 2 games. Sonic Mania. So, I haven't actually fully beaten Mania yet, or even I looked at some of the stages. But for what I played when I had it on my PS4, and I'm going to re-download it on my PS5, it was a lot of fun. It was honestly so much fun that I was really considering looking more into the classic Sonic stuff. Again, if you have no idea, if you don't know much about me, I grew up with the modern boosting era of Sonic, so I barely played any of the classic Sonic stuff, as well as with Dreamcast. But Sonic Mania is honestly the reason why I'm honestly starting to look more into like past classic Sonic games, as well as fan games that focuses on that classic style. Again, I have not played most of it because most of Mania yet, because I've been focused on getting the Chaos Emeralds. But I think I'm just gonna hold off and just do like a whole new blind-ish playthrough, and just do that on YouTube whenever I'm ready to. So, but for what I've done in it, it's very fun to play around, and a lot of Sonic fans can definitely back me up on that. One of the negatives that I hear for the game, and it's honestly pretty amazing, is that there wasn't more original stages. Like, the original stages that they had in the game were so good that there should have been more of them. To think that that's like one of the worst problems that game has had is pretty amazing, truthfully. So, shout out to Sonic Mania. And then Sonic Riders. I mean, when I saw shout out to Cabana9456. When I saw him play Sonic Riders, I was like, bro, I gotta get the right hard drive that I need for my 360 so I can play this. And I'm so happy I did. I mean, the game was just so fun. It is my favorite, as of right now, for the Sonic games I played, my favorite Sonic racing game ever. Even one day when I play Zero Gravity, I don't think that will top Riders for me. I think a lot of people can agree with me on that. Riders, out of the three, when it comes to that, Zero Gravity and Free Riders, that the original Riders was the best Sonic racing game as far as like in that series. I don't you can tell me if it's the best, if Sonic Riders is the best racing Sonic game we've gotten ever. I don't know, because there's also Racing Transform, which I think is a good game, but I need to play more of it. But I enjoyed Sonic Riders. The story was pretty funny and cool to look at. The gameplay has a huge learning curve, which is a big problem for that game. But when you start getting the controls for that game, it's so much fun playing it. And then like the extra things the game gives you to do on your own time, it's also very engaging. It will probably make you rage, maybe. It definitely did for sure for me. But it's a game that is definitely going to keep you occupied for sure. And it's just really fun. It's just really fun racing in that game. It really is. And now, the S tier. We got 3 games on the S tier. First off, Sonic Rush on a Nintendo DS. This is probably my favorite of the 3 Sonic games that we've gotten on a DS, or from these ones, aside from Lost World and Generation. I've played on my DS. It is so much fun playing with Sonic and Blaze. Very bit similar though, but there are some differences. The story, I really enjoyed the story when it came to just Sonic and interacting with Eggman Nega, and then with Blaze, and not only interacting with Eggman and getting about the Soul Emeralds, but her and just growing as a character towards Cream, becoming more friendly towards people instead of just being like an Ice Queen type of thing. It was pretty cool. Blaze is one of my favorite female characters, and one of my favorite characters in the Sonic franchise. And then gameplay, I mean, this is pretty much the start of like the boosting Sonic games. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed playing this game a lot when in general when I had my DS. I will say though, and I don't think I mentioned it with colors, but it's especially apparent in this game, getting the Chaos Emeralds and the Soul Emeralds is the worst. Well, no, it's Chaos Emeralds for Sonic, because Soul Emeralds you just have to fight Dr. Eggman to get them, yeah. But to get the Chaos Emeralds in Sonic Rush, those half-pipe special stages, they are they are brutal. It's absolutely brutal. That and in colors, they are so brutal when it comes to special stages to get the Chaos Emeralds. But yeah, man, I miss some of these games. I really need to get emulation for these. Next, Sonic Generations. This is going to be a classic in a lot of people's eyes. I mean, and so I wonder if this game is still relevant for how much of the modded community has done for this game. I don't know if it will still be, but what a ride for this game. I mean, the story ain't the strongest point for this game. It's not even a debate. But the gameplay, oh my gosh, it fine-tuned the Hedgehog engine so great from what it did in Unleashed. The controls for modern Sonic is honestly one of the best, if not the best. Honestly, no, it is the best modern Sonic controls we've had ever. And Classic Sonic also controlled really great to me, at least. Well, he could have been a bit faster, but man, did they hammer it down with the controls. The levels for this game, they could be a lot better. They were pretty good, but I feel like they could have done a lot better as far as like level choices. To me at least. But again, the biggest thing for this game, and the graphics look great by the way, especially when comparing it to Unleashed. But the biggest thing with this game was with the modded community. I mean, so much modding when it came to Sonic's controls or the character model itself, or like the actual stages. There's so much out there. I really want to just try some of these, and I'm so happy I now have generations on my PC so I could try some of these. I think one of the ones that I'm really looking forward to doing is the Road Adventures. Or the Unleashed project for Generations. Again, I'm a huge Unleashed fan, which we'll be getting to very soon, actually. But I'm very looking forward to playing that on there. Again, there's other like texture mods or character mods. There's so many things you could just try to find for this game. Shout out to Gabana9456 for showing off a lot of these mods, by the way. His mod is Mod Mondays, by the way, for the game. But speaking of Unleash, Sonic Unleashed is right there, man. I love Sonic Unleashed. It is still to this day my all-time favorite Sonic game. I love playing. It's just my favorite. I know a lot of people will give it a lot of flack because of the Werehog, but honestly, I don't really care. I thought they did perfectly fine with the Werehog. If people are going to say that the Werehog stages are too long, I mean, go play Sonic Heroes, especially Team Dark and Team Chaotix, and you'll see exactly what I mean. So I don't really care. I didn't really care about the length, the action in the game. I mean, it's pretty lit when you're playing a Werehog and all the combos you can do. I will say that stupid annoying theme song of his is so damning that I guess that is one reason why I sometimes would probably not want to play the nighttime stages, but it's really fun to just roam around, just grab stuff with your long arms, and just do sick combos and stuff, yeah. And just being at a slower pace, just exploring the world, because the worlds in Sonic Unleashed are just so beautiful and amazing to just gaze around and look at. And as far as modern Sonic, I mean, I think it's still the fastest modern Sonic game, unless Frontiers takes that crown. This is one of the fastest, if not the second fastest Sonic game we've ever gotten. I think. Story, I thought they did really great with the story for how strong they wanted to go with that. And graphics, I mean, the graphics look great. That's not it. We can. I don't know what to say to that. I mean, in fact, I might even pull up one video to really show this. This was what is it? What did Premier's want me to do? It's 80 on Metacritic. Oh wow, huh? Sick. Is that for real? There's no way. For which system? PS5? That's there. Sonic Frontier. Oh, on PC. Wow. So, wow, okay, pretty good. It's 72 on PS5, Series S and X, or Series X, 58. Jesus Christ, is it fucking bad? Why is it bad over there? But that's from Metacritic, though. The user scores is like either 8.0 or higher. In fact, if you also go to Sonic Frontiers on Steam, I think it's like overwhelmingly positive. The last time overwhelmingly positive. That's that is something. I really do want to get this game on my PC. That's for sure. But Sonic Unleashed opening, AK. Watch this video when y'all have time. I mean, hold up. Yeah, this one right here. Wait, no. Where did it go, actually? Where's AK at? BMS and AK versus... I'm not gonna watch it through him. Oh, they upscaled it in Sonic Codes as well. Is it gone? It's gone. It's not there no more. There used to be like an opening where you can watch it in AK. Oh my gosh, it's gone. What the hell? Aw, man. Alright, what about 4K then? Alright, I just want to... Oh shoot, let me mute that. Sorry. Like, look how beautiful this game freaking looks, bro. And it's just a cutscene. Even in-game, it looks super good as well. Let me see if I can show off where Super Sonic is. Let me also get to right here. I want to show off this sick shot as well. Bro, and look at, you can literally see Sonic on his shoes as well. But yeah, the game looks super sick as well. But this is my tier list, by the way, for games that I have played. Where would I put them as far as like me enjoying the games? Basically just my favorite games, but putting it on a rank system. This is like the most biased list you're going to see anyway. Do not think that this is unbiased at all, because if I was being unbiased, this list would be totally different. For one, I would then have, if that was the case, 06 would definitely be down here and not Frontier or Forces, or maybe even both down here. That honestly could be a possibility as well. Honestly, I can also just do this right now, actually, truthfully. I could actually do that. And then as much as I would love Unleashed, that shit will probably be coming down here. Yeah, that shit would be staying down here for sure, yeah. Like, there were certain, and like this game would be up there probably. I mean, there was like a lot of things I know I would be switching around if I was being biased. I mean, if I was being unbiased, but I think I made it very clear. But that's about it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Yeah, so I don't know if I have anything Sonic related coming up real soon, unless I know recently in Sonic Frontiers there was like a recent DLC. Let me see that. So there was this Monster Hunter collab pack going on. Let me show that off real quick. So it's like this new gear that we have. I think it's like 2 different gears that we have. Pause it right here. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I don't see myself wearing this at all. What do people think about this? For making it free. Thank God. Yeah. Thank God. But I like the fact that this game is already getting DLCs, really. I think that's really a good sign for this game for sure, yeah. Is there anything else though I do gotta mention Sonic related? Because I don't think I'm gonna make another Sonic video until I get my review up for Frontiers, and that's also going to be a while because I need to work on Splatoon 3, and if I want to do Call of Duty first, yeah, it just depends. I think that's about it as far as Sonic wise. I mean, if I do decide to do like a playthrough or something, at least from my PC, because on my 360, I mean on my PS5, I'm doing my Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart stream, then just be on the lookout. So yeah, I guess that's about it. So if you enjoyed the video, leave in the comments what did you think. What would your list look like? If it was just these games, or if you have a list for all the games that you have played, not talking about where, like, unbiased, just talking about where would your favorite games be put at for you at least. Subscribe as well to the channel. I live stream here and there doing live playthroughs and such, and I do videos like this as well as reviews. And I'll see you on the next one. Y'all take care and have a good one. Peace.